I've never met a man that says, hey, your bank account has 10 million in it? Yeah, get out. Now, like, it's not a bank account that emasculates anybody. What emasculates a man is your attitude and your actions. And are you big timing him? Are you making him feel less than? Are you defining him only by his monetary worth?
I'm a PhD.
Men are not meant to just be providers monetarily. What about protectors? What about your human you travel through time together? What about somebody that you really respect their opinions on?
The high integrity and yeah.
Oh, yeah. What about the future, father of your children and what that means? And I think the reason why we're having problems with women who say, hey, I make all this money and men aren't interested. It's like, are you just playing the victim? And is that the easiest thing for you to say? What if your story was different? What if your story was instead, I make a ton of money and it's incredible because I get to be a partner to somebody. I don't get to be a cost center. Now I'm a profit center. And we get to do all the other fun things.
Right.
But I think a lot of women, because we define men by how much money they make, of course they don't want to be with somebody who makes more than them because they go, oh, now you're worth more than I am as a human.
Interesting.
And so I push back really hard on that. I don't think that's true. And I think men have just been with women who are kind of jerks about making too much money.
What's going on YouTube? Is your boy Rome back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So I got a video for you guys of a woman who is educated, seems to be making a pretty good living. However, she is frustrated because she is come to the realization that no man cares about her degrees or her income or what kind of occupation that she has. It's funny because it's like, men, we've been trying to tell y'all this for so long and we're still trying to tell y'all this. And it's, I don't want to say it's a breath of fresh air, but it's definitely Kevin Samuels used to use the term very rich. I find it very rich that you're starting to see more women come to this realization, come to this epiphany all of a sudden, as if like men have not been screaming this out to y'all for the last, I don't know how many years now. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this.
One of the biggest lessons I ever learned, or harshest realities I ever, had to come to, is realizing that men do not care about your accomplishments as a woman. They don't care about your education. They don't care about your degrees. They don't care about how much money you're making. They don't care about, what businesses you're running. They don't care about any of that stuff. If they do not find you attractive, they will not go out of their way for you whatsoever. They will walk right past you to a beautiful woman. And the thing about it is, the sooner you realize that and accept it, you won't even get offended by it. Because the thing about it, men and women are just wired differently. A real man doesn't really have to care what a woman has going on. If he has, money, if he has education, all that kind of stuff, I mean, it's not you can't even really fault it. Men have the luxury because for the most part across, I don't even know if I go as far as saying across the world, but for the most part in most communities, men make more money than women. So they have the luxury of being able to date for things outside of stability, even general, sometimes even compatibility. They can date for whatever reason they want to, whereas women sometimes we're looking for other stuff. Right. We can have $1 million in the bank. A lot of women would still want a man that has more money than them or has something equal or something similar.
Now, ain't that sad? You heard her just say that. She said we can have $1 million in the bank and a woman's still going to want a man with something similar or more than her. And the crazy part about it is that although we look for different things, don't you think it would be in the best interest of a woman that's successful, maybe such as yourself, to not value the financial part so much if you already got it yourself. Not saying that you have to go into the dating market and think like a man per se, because you got the bag. But make those other, and that's the fucked up part about it is women claim and act as if like all these other things that they value are more important than the financial, but I keep exposing to you guys that none of these other things mean shit to them without the financial. That's the reason why so many guys that don't have any substance, that can't hold a conversation, that don't have emotional intelligence and all these other characteristics that have nothing to do with money. That's the reason why a lot of those men can still sleep around with a lot of women, have access to them, and they don't have to have any of those other things because y'all prioritize money over all the other shit. And even when you're in a position that you're in where you don't have to do that, you still do it because you are a slave to your emotions and that hypergamy. Crazy, ain't it? Let's keep it moving.
I'm not saying all women, but a lot of women, because they're just scared. They know it makes them an easy target for men that are leeches and moochers and, just want to use them. Men, they just are wired differently. They can go after what's beautiful. So realizing that as a woman, I also had to come to the other harsh reality of what my grandmother told me when I was like maybe 14 or 15. She told me that you have to maintain your appearance as a woman until the day you die. And I know some of y'all are thinking like, well, damn, Taylor, you didn't listen. I don't wear makeup all the time, but I still kind of feel like I'm put together. I always have good hygiene. I always maintain, a certain level of fitness. Y'all know my mother died. She had a stroke when I was 13. So I always try to maintain a certain level of fitness.
Sorry to hear that.
But she told me that you have to be it all, or like you have to you can be funny, you can be smart, you can be strong, you can be, like all of these other things, but you can never neglect your appearance in the process. And
you know what? I agree with her, and I think this is one of the reasons why, especially passport bros or other guys that travel and date abroad, one common thing that you will hear all of us say is that it is a lot harder to find Big Shirley in these other countries. And part of the reason why is because in these other countries, they understand this very dynamic and this realization that she's come to. The women in these other countries, they understand that. That's why the fitness culture is a lot higher in some of these other countries. You go to these other countries, bro, it'd be women in their 40s. It's women in these, dude, go to places like Colombia, Thailand, Philippines, Brazil, different parts of Africa and Europe. I'm telling you, bro, you will see 40 and 50-year-old women that are putting 20 and 30-year-old women in the US to shame. I bullshit you not, bruh. You can ask Passport Blueprint when we was both in Brazil. Hell, I'm like, hell, he was eyeballing older women more than I was. He was spotting them. You know what I mean? I'm like, cause, I'm over here, like, Brazil is just a whole nother monster. There's beauty everywhere there. But my point being is that women in other countries seem to understand this already. But in the West, that's not the case. And she's I'm not going to say a victim because I'm not going to give you that. But as you can see, she is a result of that very problem. Let's keep it moving.
And coming to that realization, like, wow, as a woman, you always have to maintain your appearance because it's just, there's so much currency in a woman's appearance. And right. I'm going to tell you one other thing. My grandmother is 94 years old. She's a woman who's always taking care of herself physically. She always told me, don't let your kids stress you out. Don't let your husband stress you out. Don't let your job stress you out. And I'm telling you right now, every time I go out with my grandmother, she always gets compliments on her looks. People never believe her age. She gets hit on by men at 94 years old. She's
Right.
still getting hit on, which is crazy to me, but it happens. And I understand now that like beautiful women are always going to have options. Okay. So like at the very most, a man who can get a beautiful woman that's also smart, funny, and all that other stuff, he's going to feel like he hit the jackpot. But if you're a woman that never really puts much effort into their appearance, you don't maintain your fitness,
Right.
you don't really, try to dress in a way that's, where you at least look polished.
Right.
You don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to look like a Barbie doll. Some people prefer a more natural look. You don't have to have a super exaggerated body or anything like that either. But if you don't look put together or they don't find you attractive, it's hard, like dating. It is.
Now, this, I kind of gotta disagree with her because let's be real here, fellas. There's a reason why there's such a discrepancy in the dating market. Is because we got average looking women, such as herself. I mean, she's not a bad looking woman. She's not like super attractive, but she's not ugly either. However, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have any issues dating or getting dates. I think this is just another example of a woman shooting too high and I hate to say dating out her range, but let's be honest, that's just what it is. She just said so herself. She's educated, successful, all that. 9 times out of 10, she's one of those women that's looking for the equally yoked man, and she's coming to the realization that those equally yoked men aren't looking for the same things that you're looking for, and those men have more options than you, because when a man makes more money, he thinks to himself, oh, I can take care of a family. When a woman starts making more money, she thinks, oh, I don't need a man's money. But y'all always end up wanting a man to make just as much, if not more than you. Funny how that works. Let's keep it moving.
And like I said, men are just wired differently. They're built differently. They have the luxury of being able to date just for looks, whereas women, we're looking for more than that. Okay. So if you're a woman that has money, vacation, can provide for themselves, all of this kind of stuff, but you don't do anything to maintain your appearance, unfortunately, you're going to attract sometimes the wrong men. I see it all the time. Like, you might attract the pretty men, but you're going to have to take care of them physically, financially, all of that kind of stuff.
That's
They will
true.
mooch off of you. They will lie to you. They will abuse you. They will do all of this other stuff. They will try to control your finances. They will splurge on other women on your dime. I've seen it happen. Okay.
Drizzle.
And ask any woman who's maybe had an extreme like weight loss or done something to their self physically. Like, for instance, maybe they got their teeth done.
Right.
Maybe they changed their hair. Maybe they got their breasts done. Maybe they got like a liposuction, something like that. Ask them if their quality of men or the type of men that they attracted once they made those physical changes changed. Ask them. And the thing about it is, it made me sick to my stomach, like coming to this realization, because I've always been a woman that prided herself on being like smart, and I think that I'm funny, and I think that I have a lot of things going on for me, but men just do not care about stuff like.
Now, she is right though, but she's also wrong. Men look for more than just looks. Now, looks is what gets you in the door, but it isn't what keeps you in the house. But for some reason, women like her, and I think this is another one of the things that successful women struggle with, is that when they come to this realization, they tend to overlook all of those other things that men look for in women. which is kind of weird when you think about it, because she even mentioned herself, we as women, we look for all these other things besides finances. You don't think men do the same thing? You don't think men look for other things besides looks? You know what I mean? Though, and that's why I led with that intro. Because, just like that woman said, as women, y'all tend to gauge men solely based on finances. So, if that's the case, our finances is the equivalent to a woman's beauty. Let's just keep it a buck. It is what it is. However, both genders are looking for more past those two things. So let's not be disingenuous and act like that's one-sided too. You know what I mean? We anti one-sided this year, bro, and going forward. Now I want to show y'all this last video because I've been meaning to show you guys this for a long time, but I think this is another reason why men don't really care about women's money or accomplishments or degrees as well. Check this out.
When the woman is a bread earner in the marriage, that marriage has a 75% divorce rate. The typical divorce rate is right at 50-50, and when the woman earns more, that increases to 75%. I am not making these statistics up. I mentioned this in a similar post the other day, and you all are still going wild in the comments. It is very divided upon gender lines on whether people feel like this is good, or it's misogyny, or women are out to get men, or whatever it is that's going on. You can go check that out if you would like. If you want to read more about this particular statistic, it is from a 2013 University of Chicago study. So it is a little bit old, and I would venture to say that that statistic is still accurate, if not higher, 10 years later.
Shit, 10 years later, in this climate, definitely higher. Definitely higher. I wouldn't be surprised if it's probably about 85-90%. But try to convince men to get in a relationship or a marriage with a woman that's a breadwinner when they find out those divorce rates. Yeah, we good. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know when I'm uploading. Hit the like button because that's with the algorithm and helps me reach a broader audience. Also look out for the travel vlog channel, Unplugged Traveler. Link is in the description. Until the next video, y'all. Deuces.